Breakfast Club, we're joined in our studio by Priya Arora. She's an author, survivor and a student of Vedanta. A new book, Life is a Battlefield, draws on the Bhagavad Gita to explore how its wisdom can help us deal with stress, anxiety and the challenges of modern life. Far from a traditional commentary, it's about applying age-old lessons to the struggles people face today. So let's quickly go across to the lady joining us in the studio. Good morning, ma'am. Hope you're doing well.
Hello, yes, thank you.
Miss
for having
Arora,
me.
the name is so intriguing in itself. Life is a battlefield. Now, we all do know life is a battlefield indeed. But what inspired you to come up with this book, and in a way that we've seen this beautiful blend of tradition and modern?
So this book is about what we are all looking for in life, and that is happiness. So if there's one thing that every single human being wants, no matter where they are in life, it can be the richest person, the poorest person, in the end you want happiness. So everything we do in life, the money we want to earn, the house we want to have, the relationships we seek, is all to get happiness. And this book is about how to achieve that. And sorry, it's not, it doesn't tell you the steps to buying a good house or the steps to earning a lot of money. That's not what it's about. It's about the mindset.
Can you give us an example? So for instance, someone who's going through a tough phase in their life falls back on a book like this. What are they likely to draw out of it? What are they likely to get inspired from? And how do they pick their cues? Because like you said, the solution in itself is not penned as is.
Exactly.
It's the solution that you're going to have to find through examples that have been brought about by you through your writing. So give us an example here.
Right. See, it's not me. This is the wisdom of Vedanta. So it's it's the wisdom that has been in our land for thousands of years. And it's not a religious wisdom, just to make it clear. This is something that is applicable to everybody. So, a lot of our problems are due to how we view them. We don't think of it that way, but if you think about it, problems come from three sources. The first one is our own mental situation and how we view things in life. The second one is from outside occurrences, like, you're walking down the street, a dog bites you. You can't control that, but it's come to you from outside. And the third is what we call acts of God, what insurance calls acts of God, where suddenly there's a flood and your house is washed away. So of these three, which is the one that is the most in your life? It's not the dog biting you, because that may happen once, it may never happen. Floods, fire, acts of God may or may not happen. They do happen to people, but not to everyone. But the thing that happens to us all the time, every day, is what's going on in our own mind. So logically, if we can manage our mind, it's about mind management. So if you manage your mind, then you manage problems better. That's all it's about. It's very simple, but managing the mind is difficult.
And where did you get the inspiration to pick on our ancient texts, our Vedic texts, and then bring about this mindset change that you're looking at ensuring that reaches people, right? So how is it that you decided to do this via the Bhagavad Gita or the Ramayana or the Mahabharata, for instance? I'm sure you've picked up a little bit of all.
Yes.
Why not, as we see a lot of people who are asking or training minds to achieve more, strive more, overcome challenges, why are we looking at this one method adopted by you? What's the story there?
The thing is, it's not different. You can do all those other things, pursue your goals, do whatever you do in your regular life, and do it in a way that you get peace from it. See, today's world is one of anxiety. We are always on the treadmill. We never step off. And frankly, digitization of everything has not helped.
Yeah,
it's made
it more difficult.
More difficult for us. So what is that helps you handle all this? So this book is not about going into sannyas or abdicating everything that you're doing and going into retirement of some kind, which people misunderstand. The Bhagavad Gita is about handling life and the thick of action. The whole lesson that Sri Krishna gives Arjun is on the battlefield. It's in the midst of action.
When he finds himself in a difficult spot,
he finds himself in a
he's slightly panicky.
Yes,
That's when
he has a panic attack, and he is in a crisis situation, and that happens to us in life. So my inspiration for this is from my own life, because I found tremendous peace from a lot of problems. You know, I'm a parent of a special needs child, which is very challenging. I've had health issues with a aggressive cancer. So, you know, these kind of things come to everybody. But if you have cultivated the mindset to be able to deal with them, then you can go through these without stress. So it's my personal journey, and I felt if it helped me, it can help others.
Can I ask you a very personal question? At what age did you read the Ramayana or Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, got you to writing something,
Right.
picking up on those thoughts and those learnings? Because you've been very vocal about how many of your readers, if not readers, followers on social media are youngsters. So
Yes.
typically people of the age 18 to 25, 30.
35, 18 to 35
18
actually.
to 35, lovely. So, you know, how is it that you relate with that generation? That's not necessarily just Gen Z, it's a lot of millennials too.
Yes.
But what is it that you, through your content or writing, are looking at in targeting that audience? And I don't mean targeting in a way that you're, you know, wanting to strike a chord with them, but just to be more relatable. Why do you think that one generation or one age group is so very crucial when it comes to imparting this kind of knowledge or lessons?
Because this is a manual for life. See, our ancient wisdom is something that is very practical. It is not religious. It's not telling you to do some puja and you know, say some mantras. That's not what it's telling you. It's telling you how to handle your life so you are more fulfilled. That's the whole purpose. So when do you need to open a manual, a user manual? When you get the product, right? You don't open the user manual when the product's life is over.
Yeah.
So if you think of it, I wish I knew this when I was 16 years old. I waited till middle age. Now your 50s is not the time to start this, because better late than never, but ideally you should have this knowledge under your belt when you're starting off life, because then life's problems won't hassle you, and that's what we want. And I think the reason why it appeals maybe to 18 to 35-year-olds, because they are at that stage. They have their life ahead of them. At 50, at retirement stage, you know, 50 plus, that's not the stage to start, you know, figuring out how you're going to handle your life. Then you have to start thinking of how to wind down.
And this is also a reminder that not all solutions lie in your chat GPT.
Exactly.
There are those who, from their personal experience, written something thoughtful which may help you as well. So this is just another reminder, because everyone's just going to AI now.
Yes.
You know, for comfort, for suggestions, for therapy.
Yes.
That's not where all your solutions lie.
Yes.
But Miss Arora, also tell us a little bit about whether or not you went through a writer's block phase. How much time did it take to come up with this book? This is your second, and I
Yes.
believe another one is on its way.
Well, yes, I'm quite prolific now, because you know, it comes from within. Writing is not something you can for me at least, I can't sit down and have a time, I'm going to write from 9 to 5. That doesn't work. You write when the inspiration comes, and the inspiration can come anytime. So, you know, sometimes actually it'll come when I'm outside somewhere and I can't sit down and write then. So what I do is I take my phone, and in the notepad section, I jot down what I feel, you know, the inspiration that has come to me. And then I go back and, when I have the time, expand on it. Sometimes it comes at night, you know, sometimes early in the morning. First thing I wake up, I think, oh, I should write about this. And then I do. I mean, not write right away, I put it down, jot it down. So writing is a very inspirational thing. And I think that should be for most authors, but for me especially, it comes from within. So these books are all, they've all come from my personal experience, which I felt so deeply. And the words, in fact, my Rama book actually just spilled out. I didn't really, and it happened during COVID.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful opportunity I had all the time to sit and write because everything was shut down. And
That may have just played the biggest role.
yeah.
The fact that you were all by yourself through that.
Yes, and the thing is, I didn't feel lonely and I didn't feel any anxiety because I was so busy writing. I took that, and I wrote it quite fast because I had so much time to do so. So,
Was there any one moment when you decided that you're going to pen your thoughts down, you're going to take forward the messages that you have accumulated in your mind that have helped you grow as a person? You know, that one moment of feeling the urgency to pass on that wisdom to the world. Can you
talk
tell
about
us?
that moment?
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Because it's not easy. The moment you think that I'm going to write, it may sound big, it may look promising, but it's not easy to literally
Yeah.
sit down and get to writing. So what was that one moment that changed it for you?
you know, when you feel something very passionately, actually it's easy to write because then you don't have to think. And I just put down my thoughts as they come. So when I write, I don't write perfectly. I just put down my thoughts and my feelings exactly as they come. And then later I'll go back and I'll revise it and polish it and say, okay, this could be put better. But writing, the reason why I wrote both the books, the Rama book especially, is because I realized that Sri Rama is a perfect exemplar of Vedic philosophy. So whatever Sri Krishna teaches in the Bhagavad Gita, which is Vedic philosophy, you see enacted in the Ramayana. And so he's like a living example of
Also
Vedic
more
philosophy.
relatable then.
More relatable. So I'll give you an example of it. So in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the things that that Sri Krishna says is very dangerous is anger. Because in anger, you can do anything. At that moment, you've actually lost your mind. You're not in your senses. So even people who are normally would never do something like that or say something outrageous, if they're angry, will go ahead and do it because they're not in their mind. So Bhagavad Gita says that this is something we need to really control. And you see in the Ramayana, and this is Valmiki's Ramayana, and the other Ramayanas, they don't show this. Yeah. They don't humanize Sri Ram. They portray him as a god. But in Valmiki's Ramayana, he's portrayed as a human being. And his human side is very, very tender and appealing. So in that, he gets very, very angry on two occasions. One occasion is when Sita is kidnapped. And he's going crazy, he's looking through that forest, you know, running helter-skelter. Where is she? He's going so crazy that he's asking the trees, you know, where is she? He's asking the river, Godavari, where is she? The deer and the animals, and he says, I have to find her. And in this rage, he gets into a rage. First he's anxious, and you know, first when you're anxious, then that sometimes transforms into anger. So he gets into a rage, and then he says, I will burn down the world if I don't find her. He gets so angry.
Which is again very relatable, right?
Very relatable.
People feel
because
that in different
exactly,
ways, especially in current times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Lakshman says to him, no, what are you saying? Don't, you know, you are such a wonderful person, you have such a great character. How can you say something like this? Immediately he calms down. So the greatness is that, yes, we all get angry, but not to act on that emotion. You have to be able to rein it in. So he's showing you that yes, there are times when you will be pushed. You will be triggered to the point where you know, lose control of yourself. You're not yourself. But even in that moment, you can count to 10 and pull back and not act on that anger. Because when we act in any emotional state, that action is 100% going to be the wrong action.
And we've heard this so many times. Our parents, for instance, keep repeating this to us, that you are allowed to feel heightened emotions, but don't act on those emotions.
Exactly.
Wait for the right time to act on emotions. And I think that's what this book is also all about. How do you control your emotions? How are you going to not be as impulsive as, you know, your immediate triggers are asking you to.
Yes.
Ms. Arora, I want to end this conversation on a very positive note for the future writers of this country, across the world, everyone who's watching this. Tell us how this entire landscape has changed. For instance, you've written 2 books already, wanting to write more, possibly at it. We don't know what stage we're talking about right now, but the publishing scenario, etc. How is this playing out for the generation looking at writing with all the aspirations, especially given the way it's getting digitalized so heavily?
So, you know, when I was growing up, we read books. We didn't have TV. TV just came actually when I was a young person.
We didn't have Kindle.
And we didn't have Kindle, we didn't have it. So our greatest joy was to go and buy books and read them. And we actually read them from cover to cover. The challenge today is that worldwide, people are not reading. So even if we buy a book, we skim through it or we read certain bits. But it's very rare for people to read from cover to cover, the way we used to. So that is a challenge for writers. So what we have to do really is use social media to talk about the subject and then maybe encourage people. Once they see it on social media, then it encourages people to read. But it can't be the other way around like it used to be, that you write a book, there's a review in the newspaper, and then the people go buy it. Now, the online world is very significant.